What's up, everybody? We're back again with another video. Now we're going to do an unboxing, and it has to do with the GroBucket systems. I'm going to set up the GroBucket systems here. I don't know how well you can see that here. Don't mind the dogs. But I'm going to go ahead and set them up here, and they sent me something to go along with them. So let's get to that unboxing. All right, so they sent me something. Yes, I'd already opened it just to make sure that's what it was. They sent me a drip irrigation kit, or a drip system for it, basically, where I can set up a tank of water, and basically that's my water supply. So then that way it has these ball, I think they're called ball valves, kind of like how your toilets work. Basically, once it gets full, it taps it, it bumps it up, it closes off the line directly into the buckets. I'm going to go ahead and see how these work. I'm going to set a couple of them up, and then I'll bring you guys back so I can go ahead and show you the basic workings of it. It does come with instructions. I don't know what it's going to retail for. They sent me, I think, a kit for 10, because they do sell the kits for 10 grow buckets. They do have a kit for 3 where it's so you can set up 3 buckets, but this makes more sense where if you're setting up a bunch of them, like 10 of them, it's going to be a lot harder. The 3 buckets are easier to maintain than 10 at a time. But let's get the setup. So these are the kits, a little up close. It comes with, this is the ball valve. This is a piece that's gonna go on here. It's gonna go, this is gonna go on the inside of the bucket. Giant hole here, giant hole here. I don't know what this bit is called, a hole bit, I don't know. Let's see what size it is. It's a 5/8. It goes in there, and this piece has to stick to the bottom. Yes, these come with full instructions. There we go. I'm not good at this. There we go. So we have the rubber washer. Put it on the other side. Push it in as close as you possibly can against the bucket itself. You get the nut on the other side. Gonna hold the inside where the ball valve is. Hold it down in that down position. I don't know what you can tell. The piece I just showed you a second ago is on the inside, and it's pointing down. So now you're gonna put the nut on the other side, spin it around, tighten it. They say, I think in the instructions, to use an actual wrench, but I don't have time to look for one, and so you're gonna have to hold the bottom on the inside the exact same way and just tighten this to make sure that inside piece doesn't move, because you need to have that down. Honestly, I haven't figured out why, but if the instructions say to do it that way, that's what I'm doing. Okay. So that's tight. You're gonna grab this thing and spin it around on here. And this is what the water line is gonna be connected to. Spin it around a few times. Obviously, you want to tighten it to where it points down that way. But again, you're gonna have to hold the inside and make sure it doesn't spin around. So we're gonna swing it back. There we go. And that's it. Sideways. See? It's pointing down. So now we're gonna look at the instructions again, and I think it says something about may need scissors. Cutting these. Comes with tape. Or not tape, it comes with tubing. And just to prove to you, yes, they do come with very specific instructions. They even tell you on here. They give you the sizes of everything as to what you need to use. I just realized they even include the tape that needs to go on here, so I'm gonna have to take 10 of these apart and put the tape back on. Alright, so we're on to the next step. So I did go ahead and take them all apart. They're all down here. Take off the white piece, wrapped around tape, screwed them back in. The next step is to put the black wiring, or the black tubing rather, in here. It slips in here, so at this point it's basically just like your regular drip irrigation system. So you can have the T's. Let me show you the picture here. And so you're gonna have the T's, and then here, the bottom ones, is where the water is going to connect from one to the next all the way over. And then they have what I like to call goof plugs. I think that's what they call them. To basically put on the end so the water doesn't go off on the end. That way you don't have an empty hole, because they don't have any elbows. That's what they probably should include. Maybe some elbows. That way, the end pieces don't have the extra piece, because these are all just T's. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, but it's pretty simple. It's actually easier than drip irrigation when you push it in here. The sucker's not coming out. I'm sure there's a way to get it out, but I don't know how. But I'm gonna leave it alone. It says to cut it at 2.5 inches. I just eyeballed it, and so I'm guessing it's just gonna be at the bottom. Alright, so don't mind the mess, but we got them all set up. I figured out how to take these off. You actually push, it has a little ring around it. You actually push it up, and it releases this thing. I'm only using one hand, so I can't show you, but it does come out. The harder part is going to be getting to this piece out. So I guess if there's ever any issues, unplug it, pull it out, and you're good to go. But I got all 10. Now the fun part is going to be trying to get them over to the other side. And then that way, there's a section in there saying to run a test fit, basically with the water system, just to see how it runs. But first I got to figure out how to set that up. All right, be back. All right, so we got a 5-gallon bucket. It tells you to drill a hole, I think it said with the 5/16. The grommet pops right in. So we're gonna put it here. Now we're gonna take the line, same line I just connected the other buckets with. Again, it's almost like just like a basic drip irrigation system. It's gonna go in that hole. From there, it's gonna run down. And I gotta figure out how I'm gonna organize the buckets first. Then I'm gonna use the same line to connect all the buckets. I'm guessing I'm gonna do a U-shaped right here, because that's what the buckets were. And then I gotta make sure, fill that bucket up with water and make sure that there are no leaks. If you think I'm crazy, if you think I don't know what the heck I'm doing, you would be completely right. I'm just trying to follow directions. And I think if I can do it, I think anybody can do it. And I'm not just saying that, but on with the project. Okay, so I think I got it. So I'm gonna run it off of there, go straight down this way, wrap it all the way around, and connect it to that one. So that one would be my last one. I just have to turn. So in the middle, we have the white pieces that we can see. There we go. Oh, see, that's a cool view right there. That might be my thumbnail. Anyways, I'm gonna run it all the way around and connect all the white pieces in here. And then this is gonna be my water reservoir. And let me turn you guys around. So one of the things, I like a lot of things about the system, they come with very thorough instructions. They do give you the exact sizes of the bits, the drill bits, the spade bits, whatever they're called, the regular bits. They even give you the sinking tape to put on there. But the directions are so well put together that anybody can do it. It even comes with, and I don't even know where I put it. Oh, there it is. I just had it over here. They even come with a hose attachment. This is gonna go to your regular water hose. That's why it has the threading. Now, if you do have the hose available, I do have a hose bib mirror here, but it goes over a step that goes into the washroom, and so it's not gonna be feasible for me. I could also run it right out of the garden, because the garden is basically right behind it on the other side. But I'm not gonna do that because I wanna use this as a standalone system, and that's why we have the giant tank reservoir. I mean, honestly, I could do the same thing with the GroYas, but with this one, it's just one reservoir, and that's all I have to check. Because I think that makes it easier, because the ball valves inside of the bucket should technically stop it. I'm gonna test that now, actually, once I hook them all up. But they do give you, that's where I was going with that. They do give you the connector directly for the hose. It does say to go ahead and make sure that you do have a pressure regulator on there, which would be the same thing that I would tell you for a regular drip irrigation system. I want to say it's either 5 gallons per inch, or is it 25 psi? But for now, we're gonna go ahead and get this set up. But I did want to mention that they do give you that option, and they give you the extra piece to directly hook it up to the hose. But in between this and your hose, you're gonna want a pressure regulator to lower that pressure. That way your fittings don't fly off. So this is a goof plug. I'm about to put on the last piece. So this is gonna go into the last T on that bucket right there. And so then this way, it doesn't, all the water doesn't pour out. That's it. I'm just gonna put this last one on, and then I'll give you a quick tour. Okay, I lied. That wasn't the last piece I had to put in. I mean, in the system, yes, but I hadn't actually put in the line to the actual buckets. So water starts here. I didn't actually, in the instructions, it doesn't say how low to put the grommet. So I did it about 1 inch from the up, because of that way it'll get most of the water. Because if you put it up too high, then you're gonna have all this water still in here, but it's not going down. So then it goes down into the first one, and then it basically just keeps going. I move these out of the way, so I'm essentially these are all connected. To make fun of my fashion sense, but then, like I showed you a second ago, this last one, put that down. This is where the goof plate goes. So now I'm gonna fill these in. At least, sorry, fill that one in, because it says before planting, fill up that thing. Make sure the water stops flowing into the buckets, because that's what the float valve is for. Once it hits it and it pulls it up, I'm guessing it closes off the valve, and so that way it doesn't allow the water to come through. And so that's what we're going to do. And we can actually push these a little bit closer. You just want to give yourself, make sure that you have enough of the black tubing, which we still have a chunk left, in order to have them not be too short. And obviously you don't want the tubing underneath the bucket. So that's the basic setup. We're gonna fill it up and we're gonna see. Alright, so now the water is filling up over here. I don't know if you can tell. That red thing in there is the water hose, or at least the nozzle. You see these filling up. I know it's gonna take a while. I probably should have washed these out, but we've already made it to the, what is this, 5th bucket. And you just gotta make sure that this hose doesn't go underneath the buckets. Yes, once it's, you know, got the water, once it's got the, what's it called, filled in, the plants filled in, it's gonna be heavy enough to where you wouldn't have to worry about it moving unless you're moving them, which I don't see why you would. Alright guys, so this is the next day. I went ahead and filled out the bucket here, filled it up. It filled, I think, like the first maybe 4 buckets. So then I refilled it earlier today. That was about, I'd say between noon and 1, because it's my lunch break. I'm working from home today. So that was about 5 hours ago. So I refilled the whole thing. I don't know as to how long it took, but it basically filled them all the way up to the end. I'm gonna check. So basically with the ball valves are now up higher. There's a tiny bit left in here, which is above the uni seal. You can see it, the little black spot down there. That's where the water basically goes out. So had it not been enough, then it may have, the water level would be lower than that, but because it's higher than that, it tells me that everything is done, everything is complete. So the stage process, or rather the stage of basically getting these set up, make sure they don't have any holes, make sure there's no leaks. Sorry, let me zoom out there. It's pretty much done. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, not today, probably this weekend when my kids are here, we're gonna go ahead and pop these off. That's something I noticed and I mentioned earlier in the video. You can go ahead and take these off the buckets off the drip. See if I can set this up, and then that way you can just go ahead and move these buckets out of the way. Let me see if I can just set you guys up here. I hope you can see that. So you're gonna push up on here, the little ring, and just pull it down. See? And so the water's still coming out because it knows that there's nothing stopping it. So that's draining from that bucket up there. But the moment I put it in here, and it just slips right back in, and it tries to go into that bucket, the ball valve in there is going to stop it from basically accepting the water. And yeah. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. I know the system works, the water, you know, and everything over here works with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off here. It's a lot of clips and I gotta compile it and put it together. My next, I think I'm gonna just do separate videos. This one is basically setting it up. The next one is going to be, I'm gonna clean these out. There we go, it's a little better. I'm gonna go ahead and clean these out. As I just showed you, you can take them off and then, you know, do with whatever you need, because that's gonna help. So I can set up one spot to where I can, you know, set up all the kits, fill it with soil, and then that way I can go ahead and plant up. Then I can carry them back here, fill them up with water, and then you know, have them set up in the same configuration. And then that way it's all gonna, you know, find a way to streamline everything. But that is it for this video. Please go ahead and hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you like what you're seeing. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this going, and if there are any products, any ideas, any questions that you guys have, the comments are always open. If I get the question enough, again, I'm gonna create a whole new video for it. But that is it. That's it. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.